going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Thurber, photojournalist and sociologist here at VEDA World News, and I'm sitting here with an ultra beautiful model who was actually on the set of Elmore Vision, or Elmore Joseph Elmore's newest film, Rage, which is a boxing movie. She played an extra, small role, but however, she's been in the game a very long time. Ma'am, tell them who you are and what your name is.
Hi guys, my name is Vernee Brittney. I am a model and a new actress on the scene, but coming for y'all roles.
Most definitely. Before we even talk about Rage, the film, acting, in your case being an actress, let's talk about modeling.
Okay.
How did you get into the modeling industry? What was that motivation? What was that spark?
You know, I actually started modeling when I was 12.
Okay.
So I was 5'9", 5'10" at that age, and I just loved taking pictures. I absolutely loved everything about the industry. I loved dressing up. I used to cut clothing for my dolls out of socks.
Really?
You know? Yeah, so I really loved the industry, and I had the height.
Yes, you did. I mean, at that young of an age, to be like 5'10",
Yeah.
that says a lot.
Yeah.
And this, mind you folks, this is without heels.
Right.
Okay, so with
Right.
heels, you add another 6 inches, you get what you get with that. So go ahead.
Yeah, so that's essentially how it started, and my mother started to allow me to do different things, different training, things like that, and I was trained on how to walk, how to pose, take pictures, and all of that. And, you know, I was in the industry for a couple of years until, you know, school and life got in the way, and I put it on the back burner for a little bit until I became an adult and I was well into my career, and I decided to go after everything that I always really wanted, and this of course was one of them.
Okay, and like I say, beyond being beautiful, beyond me seeing you on the set, one of the things that I liked about you the most was that you were traditional when it came to modeling. We talked about this thing called not exclusivity, but inclusion. And you made a comment, you stated that inclusion is not always necessarily a great thing. Can you explain why?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we love inclusion to a certain extent, of
Okay.
course, because there are also going to be certain spaces that we just can't be in, and that's me included. There are going to be certain things that I am not great at, or I just don't fit the mold for, and it's okay for me to congratulate the people who do or be in those spaces. I think that what unfortunately ends up happening when we are too inclusive with everything, and obviously there's, you know, a level to it, is it stops being, you know, what it was intended to be.
Understood.
On the one hand, there are certain things that we want to dismantle, of course, but on the other hand, there are certain things that we really love about it that end up going away as well.
Understood. Let's be a little more specific here. When you say, when I say traditional, as far as modeling, what would you consider, or more specifically, what is the industry standard?
So the industry standard, from what I know, is, for instance, the height aspect. I was told 5'9" was essentially the industry standard. I think that is changed to maybe around 5'7", which
For women.
For women, right. Which I think that's fine. But when it continues to change further than that, I think that's when it becomes like, oh, okay, well, I guess there is no standard. And I think that a lot of people would disagree with me and say, like, well, maybe there shouldn't be a standard, and maybe there should be just inclusion, and maybe someone who is, you know, 5 foot should be able to do the same exact things. And, you know, that's completely fair if that's how they feel about that. But, you know, I think that there are certain spaces where, like, I can't be in, and I'm okay with that too.
Okay, and also, what about weight, hair, like what's going on there?
Hair, I don't think anything about hair. I feel like
as far as the
that can
industry
be
standard.
I'm not too sure about the industry standard when it comes to hair, because I
Okay.
know recently they love, like, my hair, right? The afro kind of hair. I'm not sure if that was something that was the case 10, 20 years ago. So that might be something where it could have excluded me, right? But I wouldn't know that for sure. When it comes to weight, not too sure about that either. I feel like my thought process probably only extends to height.
Or dress size, maybe? Because when going back, I looked at that industry standard and it said 0 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Was like that's what they're looking for as far as being prime. This is not to say that a size 6 or a 7 or even 8 could not get into the industry, although they do have their, I guess, genres that they run into. But 0 through 4 was typically what I saw. Your thoughts?
Uh, yeah, I saw that as well. Absolutely. And when I was younger, I was definitely between a 2 and a 4. I'm more so a 4 now. Um, I do think that it would be nice. It is nice that we have created spaces for women that are larger. However, I also understand the spaces that decide not to include everyone.
Understood.
I feel like it is their choice whether or not they want to go above the size 4. If there are spaces where they go between a 4 and a 16, I think that's wonderful too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the psychology of a model? What is that like? Like when you step on that runway, or you're doing a print ad for an editorial, what's going on in your mind?
That's a good question. Um, I don't know what is going on. I've never thought about that.
I have to ask. I'm a journalist. I have to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never really thought about it. I think that I'm just like, get the shot, or, do the thing. Just do it. It's essentially kind of like, just do it. What do you need to do in order to like hit it in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that doesn't always look good, right? So I tell people that all the time when it comes to posing, for instance, where they're like, oh, like your poses are great, show me. And I'm like, just start doing stuff. Start looking silly, start hanging from things, start, whatever. And, you'll figure it out. So, I mean, my thing is just do it. Just figure it out, I guess.
Let me ask you, do you have a favorite color?
Yes.
What color is that?
My favorite color is red. We'll stick with that.
Why? Well, we said stick with, as if there are other colors other than red that you may be attracted to.
Yes, because my favorite color is historically red. So I have
historically red.
Yes, I have loved red since I was a child. I used to wear all red. It was quite ridiculous. And as I've grown to like more earth tones, especially like a green or a sage. But my loyalty, the way my loyalty is set up, is like, it's red.
It's red. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
great. Are there any favorite designers that you have?
Favorite designers?
Yes, ma'am. Who's your favorite?
I tend to gravitate more towards the black designers, just because I love the style of the clothing. Like,
Okay.
one of the designers I follow is Jay Bolin, and I love the way he styles and such, because I think that design and styling go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other, in my opinion. And I love the culture that gets put into it. So yeah, I think I gravitate more towards that.
Okay, and let me ask you this here. When it comes to shoes, shoes more specifically heels, what are your favorites?
What are my favorites? I like an open toe.
An open
shoe.
toe. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you like the 6-inch, the 3-inch? What do you like?
I like about a 4-inch. It
Why?
can't be too low. It can't be too low.
Okay.
Because I don't know. For some reason, I don't think a kitten heel looks nice on me, personally. That's just my thought process.
Really?
I don't know. Some people, I look at them in a kitten heel, I'm like, she looks good. And I feel like if I put it on, I would look like a grandma. I don't know why. 6-inch, that's just terrible for your posture.
Okay.
So at that point, I think it's unnecessary. I do love a good shoe. I won't lie. I am typically in a flat.
Really?
If I am not on stage or, dressed up, going somewhere, I love to dress down kind of hippie-ish, honestly, and wear a flat shoe.
Now,
Yeah.
what was the best show that you've ever done? What was that, and where?
Okay. That question is a little relative, right? Because I have a few different shows that I really enjoy for different reasons. So I have one show that I did recently. It was actually in support of cancer research, and it was here in Houston.
Noble.
Yeah, it was here in Houston, and I really just enjoyed the atmosphere that I was in. The people that put the show on, they were on top of their stuff. I mean, we were there 3 hours max. Hair, makeup, show, everything. 3 hours max.
That is really not bad.
It was. I mean, granted, there were only 12 models that were booked, but still, I really loved how professional that show was put on.
Okay.
But there's another show where I was there a lot longer, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it felt very high fashion. It was, the lights and the camera and it was just a lot of fun.
What are your thoughts on high fashion?
My thought, the fierce. When
Okay.
I think high fashion, I think fierce. I think something that's edgy.
Okay.
Something that you wouldn't have thought to really put together.
Understood.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, for those ascribing to be a model, what are 3 tips that you would give them?
Okay, 3 tips. One thing is go for any and everything you want to go for. I do not care how scary it is. You also don't even have to listen to me. Just because I'm here saying like, well, I think models should be tall does not mean you have to agree with me. So if you
Understood.
are 5'6", go for it. I could be wrong, So that's just one thing. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. Go for it. And if someone has created a space for you, go towards that space, regardless. So that's one thing. 2, practice. Really practice, throw the heels on, walk around your house, walk around the space that they give you. I don't know if you have a courtyard area or whatever the case may be. Practice your posing, do training, pay someone to help you, do things like that.
It is. I'm glad you said that because a lot of people refuse to pay people for training.
Yeah.
Especially if that person is really established, really good. I don't know what it is like in other places, but I know in Houston, Texas, people generally do not like to pay for things. They love to dry beg here a lot. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it might just be learned behavior.
Okay.
Maybe they haven't needed to do it in order to learn certain skills in the past. Maybe it's worked for them in the past. I used to be someone who was like that, like, oh, I can figure it out. And then I learned, well, actually, this person had expertise that I would have never come across had I not been in their space. So yeah, I think that it might just be a learned behavior. It may be a lack of funds, even.
But everybody is suffering from lack of funds. I mean, the economy has changed, fashion has changed, the clothing industry has changed. With all the tariffs and all the geopolitical things going on. So I understand that. I think a lot of people can understand that. But what I just can't understand is if you need something, if you need a piece of education that will make you better at what you do, more efficient at what you do, why not work a little couple of hours extra to go ahead and make sure that you can pay someone to give you that boost?
Yeah, I absolutely understand where you're coming from. Obviously, there are going to be the people who are working their ass off and they still can't seem to figure it out. But for the ones who aren't in that category, essentially people who are choosing to just do it a different way, yeah, they might just be a lack of understanding how important it is for them. Yeah.
And your 3rd tip?
My 3rd tip, what was that 3rd tip? So I spoke about the practicing and the training. We spoke about not letting anybody deter you. And then, shoot, I had it in my head. What was the 3rd thing?
I am sorry that I interrupted your thoughts. I am sorry.
No, it's completely fine. Man, it's really not coming back.
If it comes back,
okay,
feel free to interrupt.
I will. I'm like, I got it, Mike. I got it.
And I'm gonna be okay. Give it to us. We need to know.
What was that thing? Go ahead. What was the other
Let me ask you a question. What is your thoughts on fashion fair?
Fashion fair. What is
like as far as like the way people walk down the aisle, the catwalk? What are your thoughts on that? Has it gotten better over the years? Has it changed, or is it still more of the same?
I would say it's gotten better.
Why?
I see a lot of people, from just watching shows, as a child, for instance, and watching it now. It could even just be the way that I'm watching it. Who knows? But I see a lot of people just really work it down that runway, like just really, really kill it. Even the petite models, y'all don't be mad at me, because even y'all be killing it down that runway. Either way, so I think that it has gotten better in some spaces, right? Because I think that once we branch into doing all of the extra theatrics, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. Maybe it's just a different type of show. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think that's okay too. Just whatever the runway actually calls for, though, knowing what space you're in. That's more so the point. Knowing which space you're in. Are you in a runway show where you are fierce, you're going down, you're turning around, you're coming back, you're doing that, or are you in a show where it's a performance essentially, and you're stopping and you're engaging with the audience and you're doing the poses and all of that? Yeah. Okay. Just knowing your space.
Can one be too old to be a model?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
No.
Explain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just imagining in my mind an older woman walking down the runway with her like salt and pepper hair and her glass skin.
Okay.
Just, yeah, I can see it.
Okay. And let me ask you, makeup. Do you apply your own makeup?
I do. I have been learning over the past couple of years to do my own. Obviously, I haven't put much emphasis on it, which I really should. I really should. I feel like I can do better at learning a lot more of the makeup techniques in order to be more prepared.
All right, so if I had a magic wand and I could say, hey, I'm going to give you any kind of makeup brand of your choice, which one would you want?
Fenty.
Why?
Rihanna. No, but so again, I love supporting anything Black. Honestly, that is really my aesthetic. But on top of that, she does have a really good brand. I have a few of her products, and I do like the way they work and how they look on my skin. So it's best of both worlds in my opinion.
I will most definitely be sure to insert Fenty into the top of this
Rihanna, come find me.
And definitely for that Black American designer that you have in mind that you really admire, that you really like, we're also going to put him here as well. So try to give him some shine as well, because that's very important to us here over at VEDA World News.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this here. If you had a place that you wanted to go and they had a fashion show, a big runway, right? Where would you go?
Paris.
Why?
Because it's the fashion capital of the world.
Okay.
Fashion capital of the world. I think that's a lot of models' dream. First, New York, because it's here, it's accessible, and then Paris.
Okay. Have you been?
I have been to Paris. I studied abroad. Oh, I love Paris. I also adore Paris. I studied abroad in Paris when I was in college, and then I've been back a few times on vacation. So I love the atmosphere, the cafes, the food, all of that.
I'm going to chime in there because I spent 2 weeks in Paris. I have to say, man, when I'm there, I really feel the maturity of the culture as to opposed of here. And again, for anyone that's watching, I'm not talking crap about America or any country for that matter, but I just really feel not only accepted in France, but I also feel the history while I'm there. When I'm walking down that street and I see the Rose Line and I see, the Eiffel Tower, these places been here for a very long time. And so I just enjoyed that about that.
Yeah, I love the architecture.
Yes.
You walk around and you're just in awe. You're just watching everything.
Like some of them buildings are like older than this country, like in some places.
Absolutely. And they simply restore, and they continue to restore. And something, goes awry and they restore as opposed to tearing things down.
Yeah. Let me ask you, what is your diet like?
So I do eat a lot of fruits and vegetables in order to nourish my body, fiber, all of those things.
Is this your diet or is this a model diet?
It's just my diet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a model diet. I am naturally slim. Okay. I have been all of my life. It kind of more so runs in my family on my father's side. So fortunately for me, I haven't necessarily had to adopt a specific diet in order to stay slim. I also kind of eat like a bird. And what I mean by that is I eat very small meals. And it keeps me thin, honestly. I also do not eat dairy. So that, I do it because I'm allergic to milk. However, it should be in a model diet, in my opinion, because it keeps my skin clear. It helps to well, for me anyway, it keeps my joints a little stronger than they were when I was eating it. You know, it just causes a lot of inflammation in your body. So it really kind of keeps you sick, whether we recognize it or not. Some worse than others. Like I was on the bad end of it. But yeah, so that has also kept my weight down as well. So yeah, that's essentially where I X things out. More so dairy, sometimes gluten.
Mm.
Other than that, I don't eat much ground beef
Okay.
or pork because I just don't like it.
It's okay.
Yeah, so.
It's okay. Well, I know not to invite you to the barbecue like that.
Oh, no, I'm coming to the barbecue.
She's coming to the barbecue.
I said much. I don't eat it much. Like, I don't cook it. Basically, that's more so it. But if you invite me to the barbecue, I will have some brisket. I'm going
Okay.
with brisket. Yeah.
That is fair. That is most definitely fair. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not running the runway or when you're not in front of a camera? What do you like to do?
So I actually like to crochet. I have my own crochet business as well. So I make clothing and accessories out of yarn.
Okay.
And it can be just absolutely anything that you can think of. I can create.
Go ahead.
Besides that, I like to write poetry. I don't perform it very often, but I write it. I love to be outdoors. You
Wow.
know, I don't know. I feel very calm in nature as long as the bugs aren't attacking me.
Understood.
You know?
Understood.
Yeah, I like doing fitness things outdoors. I'm trying to strengthen my urge for fitness overall, but I like to do things outdoors when it comes to, you know, running or doing different activities like that. Yeah, I also love talking to people. You know, I work as a mental health therapist by day, so I really enjoy doing that work as well.
You know, I'm glad you did. You mentioned mental health. Transitioning into that, what do you think the state of the mental health is today of models?
You know, I I can't say for sure, but I will say that I would assume it might be low for
Why?
those models who aren't actually in therapy, right? Because again, we talked about the idea of inclusion and things like that. This industry is cutthroat, you know.
It is.
And I
Very
think
much so.
that, and a part of the reason I said what I said too is not necessarily that I want people to be excluded. It's that realistically, people still are being excluded.
Okay.
And I think that there's this idea around inclusion, but in a lot of the spaces, especially the spaces where people are trying to aspire to, there's not as much inclusion as they think, you know. And I think that it causes a lot of rejection, and it causes a lot of like body dysmorphia, and it causes a lot of, you know, just trying pressure and trying to be something. And I would just rather people like, do I fit into this space, into this world? And if not, you can have it.
Let me ask you, as a mental health professional and model, what are your thoughts on the statement of beauty is pain?
I don't like it.
Why?
I mean, realistically, that has been the case, right? I don't like it because it shouldn't be pain.
Okay.
I think that to a certain extent it's true. You know, even when it comes to the heels, right? Heels don't feel great after a
would
while,
never
at
know.
least. You know, there are plenty that you can walk around in all day. Plenty of our feet actually start to mold so that we actually feel better in heels to a certain extent.
Really?
But yeah, that happens. But realistically, a lot of what we are supposed to do as women, it causes pain. The waxing, the heels, the even doing your hair in certain ways and straightening it and things like that. And if you do not do those things, then you are considered not beautiful. You are automatically shunned, and I don't think that's okay.
What does it mean to be beautiful to you?
That is a very relative question, definitely. I love the to you, right? Because I am one who, I don't stay around people who negatively speak about others, right? The like, oh, this person is ugly, or this person is bigger, or this whatever.
Okay.
And I think that happens periodically because I'm slim and people think I'll be like, yeah, absolutely. And to be clear, that will never happen. I think beauty really does. I know it's cliche, but I think your beauty does come from within. Like if you are a light in this world, you are shining beauty onto everyone around you. You know, so I don't like the idea that it has to be your face and the makeup and the exact way you look and all of that. And that is one of the downsides, I believe, of the industry, because if you do not look a certain way, then you're not accepted, and that's hard. Yeah, I think that's really hard.
What should every model have in her or his bag?
The right shoes.
Anything else? What do you keep in your model bag?
Okay, my model bag consists of a few different pair of shoes, all like shoes that can match with most things: black, silver, gold, nude. Right.
Okay.
So those are the right shoes. They're gonna be open toe and then closed toe, and then the booties, but that's for a different bag. Nipple covers.
Okay.
That might be the answer to the question. Every model should have nipple covers in their bag. Let
me ask you why.
Because you never know, what you're going to be placed in, whether or not you can wear a bra with it. Maybe it has a back out. Maybe it would slip at certain points and you don't want a slip or anything like that. Also, I would say the double-sided tape, but realistically you don't want to put that on designer's clothing. Also a face covering for when you put clothing on over your makeup. That's a really good thing to have. You don't want to get makeup on designer's clothing. Other than that, nail files and glue and shoe insoles. Okay. Shoe insoles, that's another thing. Band-Aids, something.
Why Band-Aids?
You can cut your foot on the back here at any given time with any shoe that you wear, or just anywhere. I think first aid kits, I don't know. I have them everywhere. Snacks.
Which we had a lot on set, and I took advantage of that.
Yes, that is one thing. Make sure you have snacks, because you're not always going to have snacks or food on set when it comes to model fashion spaces. So make sure you're fed. Make sure it has, nuts if you can eat those, something that's actually going to nourish your body. Water. Bring water. That's another thing that may or may not be there. A lot of the good productions, of course, they're going to have those things, but always make sure you're protected.
Transitioning into the film Rage.
Yes.
And this is where I met you.
Yes.
Let me start off by saying this. When she came into the set, she's taller than most women that are there. So therefore, as a photojournalist, as someone who's always behind the camera, she caught my eye. When I talked to her, I found out she was extremely articulate, very knowledgeable, and not only that, she was willing to come onto the show and speak to us. So I really appreciate you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you for inviting me on.
Yes, and not only that first day, but she came back a second day. When most people said, I'm going home, she actually came back on that set. And lastly, your jump rope. I was watching you jump rope. I'm here. I'm looking. I'm like, oh, she does this for real. Okay, so it's you were like the total package when I first saw you on the first day, and I was like, okay, this person here, she's A-okay. Yeah. What was your experience like on the set of Rage?
Yeah, Rage was a lot of fun. Yeah, like you said, I only came those 2 days, but I had a lot of fun with everyone. Everyone was very personable and very welcoming, very, very kind. It was very easy to just get information if you needed to, figure out what was happening, all of that. The funny thing about the jump rope, too, the guy who gave me the jump rope, I think he owned the gym, and he's like, you know how to use this? I'm like, yeah, you just pop, 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 he's like,
that's exactly what I heard. Pop, 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 pop.
And he's like, oh, good, you have no idea how many people can't jump rope. I'm like, okay. So yeah, that's actually very funny, because he made sure, because he was going to give me something else.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was funny. But yeah, I love being on set. I absolutely really love being on set. I have no qualms about being in front of a camera. Obviously. But yeah, so I had a good time.
What was it like for you to watch like the boxers, the main characters as they went through their roles? Maybe have forgotten a line or two here and there. What was that like? Was that a learning experience for you?
Um, Maybe not a learning
Okay.
experience, but it was interesting to watch. I actually enjoyed that part as well because I am a person who is going to try and get it correct. And if I did not get it correct, it needs to be done again. Even when I'm teaching someone something, okay, but do this next time, do it again. So that's something that I noticed on set, where the director's like, okay, but no, change it to this, okay, change it to that. And I didn't see it as them like forgetting or messing up or something like that. Or even if they did forget, I didn't necessarily see it as them like being flawed per se, just human. I'm like, oh, this is exactly how it's going to be. Maybe it's a comfort too to know like I'm okay. If I go and I'm on set and I'm in front of the camera and I mess up, it's okay. It's no big deal. You'll just do it again. But I did like that the director made sure it was right.
Okay. Let me ask you, what are your thoughts on the director, Joseph Elmore?
Yeah, actually, he was very cool. He's very cool. He's actually the one who invited me to set the second day.
Okay.
He's like, we need people for this specific thing, and I was actually the only person who came for that portion of the extra spaces. So I'm like, I got you. I got you. I'll be there. So yeah, he was also very kind. So I liked again how he made sure things were right. And when it comes to directing and producing, you got to make sure it's right, or what are we doing here?
Let me ask you a more personable question.
Sure.
You have two main characters. Which one did you have a crush on the most?
Crush on the most.
Yes, because see what happens is these are two very handsome, well put together, well spoken, articulate men.
Yeah.
Both are athletic, and I think they kind of really want to know who you lean towards.
Okay, well, I am older than I look. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am.
No, she's not.
But I mean, if I were to, I didn't necessarily have a crush per se.
Okay.
Okay. But if I were to lean towards any of them, it would be the older one.
Gabrielle, she's talking about you. She's talking about. I'll make sure that we ping this into the video.
Okay.
Yeah, and then ping this right into the article as well.
That's
because
funny.
Seriously, Gabriel is a very handsome man.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing. Both of them were very handsome, very articulate, great actors. All of that. Very nice. Also, yeah.
Okay, here's one. Houston. What made you come here?
Honestly, I had never been to Houston before I moved here. The first time I came here was me getting my keys for my apartment that I had already set up online. Never saw the apartment or anything.
Really?
Yeah. So I heard that Houston had a lot of creativity, like Black creatives, specifically Black entrepreneurial.
This is true.
Yeah, all of those things that I resonate with. Everything that I do in my day-to-day life is a business. Like all of my income are different businesses. So I'm very entrepreneurial. I am very creative. I love being around people. I also learned that Houston is very fitness heavy and all of that. Those are all things that I really wanted for myself. And I also felt like I was being pulled here. I am a Christian and I am pretty deep in my faith. And when I felt like God was like, this is where I want you to go next, I was like, okay. And so I came.
Wow, just that easy. What are your favorite foods?
Favorite foods, tacos.
Tacos.
Even before I got here.
Really?
Even before I got here. Tacos are one of my favorite foods. Besides that, I really like Thai food.
Thai food is really good. And I can say a lot of people suffer from what's called taco fatigue. Like, you can go down a block here in Houston and have like 2 Mexican restaurants and 4 Mexican food trucks at any given time.
Every street.
But you're immune to that.
Yeah.
Really?
I eat tacos every Tuesday. I'm like, it's Taco Tuesday. And
Really?
I might in between. Yeah. I have not yet gotten over it.
That is something. Okay. That's what's up. Now, where can people find you?
I can be found at VTop Model on Instagram. I can also be found at Vernee Adeliz. It's VERNEEADALIZ. That is my crochet page for Instagram. If you follow me on any one of those, I will be posting things, congruent to those ventures. But yeah, I'll have a lot of things coming up soon. I am doing some local films in the next couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for those things.
Which films?
I don't know. Should I tell you yet? I mean, we haven't started shooting yet.
I want to know.
You want to know? Okay.
I am a unit photographer. I need to know these things.
Okay. So I am going to be on the film. What is it called? Till Lies Do Us Part.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Yeah. And I was able to get one of kind of the lead roles in that, so I was very excited about that. And then there's another film, Smile at the Camera. Okay. And that one is a horror film, and I'm supporting. Yeah. I'm very excited about that as well because I want to show my acting skills.
Oh, wait, are you a horror film fan?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not a fanatic per se. I won't watch it on my own.
No, because I don't either.
Right.
I gotta sleep at night.
Exactly. Because if something falls, I'm like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
But if someone's over and I'm like, oh, okay, you want to watch this with the ghost and let's do it.
Wait, before we go.
Yeah.
I gotta ask before we go.
Okay.
Horror films. Mm-hmm. Which one keeps you up at night? I gotta ask.
Any film that includes someone kind of like breaking in and like dragging you out your home, essentially.
Okay.
Because I feel like that is possible. Even though I know demons and stuff are essentially a thing, in my mind I'm protected or something. I don't know, for some reason in my mind I'm gonna open my eyes one day and somebody's gonna be standing there in all black. I'm like, this is it.
Wow.
That's the one that I'm like, you're safe, everything's fine, it's okay, go back to sleep.
I had to get that one question out because I'm gonna tell you what did it for me was The Nun.
I didn't see that one actually.
I went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school as a kid, and it's like The Nun, like it kind of freaked me out. And I was like,
that's funny.
I'm not, nah.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't see that one.
It's good, but I'm not.
It was too much for you.
Yeah, it was too much for me. Like I can't do that.
You close your eyes and you can see the nun.
Yeah. Oh God, I can see it now. Stop.
Okay.
No, but. Again, it was an absolute pleasure to have you here on VEDA World News, just to get a break from geopolitics. Because that's what I mainly cover, geopolitics. But again, I am a huge fan of the modeling industry, a huge fan of beauty, huge fan of fashion.
Yes.
Believe it or not. And to have you come here in this fabulous outfit.
Oh, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely fabulous. We will be doing a post photo shoot after this particular interview here. And you guys can go ahead and dig in and take a look at those images when this article comes out. I want to say thank you for being here. It is an honor and a privilege to have you right here in this chair.
Thank you for having me.
And I look forward to having you here again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
My name is Michael Thurville, sociologist and photojournalist here at VEDA World News. That is VEDACOM. That is VEDACOM.com with 2 M's. Thank you.